Yo, this is Rudy Mendez, aka Live Bandit. I'm here about 3 weeks post-op from my first part of my back surgery. Um, I'm sorry that it's been a while. I haven't done a video since I've been out of the hospital, but just want to give you all a quick update where I'm at with my recovery. I am off of all narcotics. I'm not taking any pain meds stronger than regular Tylenol. That was one of my biggest fears, as y'all can remember from the previous video, is being home with narcotics on hand. I refilled my prescription once, utilized that for a couple of days, and now I've got mostly full bottle of T3 sitting on the counter. Now, since I started weaning myself off of that, my pain has really subsided. I'm really pain free. I take Tylenol a few times a day, and that's where I'm at. I'm moving around a hell of a lot better. I'm able to walk a lot more. My tri training is what I like to call it, is going good, and that's me walking down the block and back. It's about a third of a mile, and I do that once a day, and that's my tri training for probably the next, few weeks until I can get the stamina to walk a little bit further. I definitely don't want to push myself. Now, not wanting to push myself kind of takes the fun out of life, right? But I've got to say, the fun brings me up to a point that I've run into recently, and that's I've been watching a lot of TV. Because there's not much else I do besides watch TV, crochet, and color. I read a little bit here and there, but I watch TV a lot, and I watch movies and commercials that where people are drinking and they're having fun, and that right there makes me want to drink sometimes, and I know that I can't. And then I won't for today, at least, as long as I stay mentally fit and emotionally and spiritually fit. I know that I won't drink today. Okay, but it doesn't mean that I don't feel like, hey, you know what? If I drink, I'm going to have fun. And the reason why I feel that way is because I remember when I first started drinking, when it was fun. But then I have to remind myself, constantly when those thoughts creep into my head, where I ended up and how it wasn't fun. I ended up drinking, having socially, then drinking, with friends, and a little bit more, and it progressed to where I was drinking solo because I didn't want anybody else to see how much I drank, because I needed to escape my shit. And I ended up drinking solo and being suicidal and depressed. And that's not where I want to be anymore. I can't afford to be that way because it's not going to end on a positive note. And so when those thoughts creep into my head, I got to remind myself constantly that it won't end well. It's going to end in my death one way or the other, where it's being suicidal in my death, getting in a car wreck, in my life, drinking myself to where I won't wake up anymore, whatever the case may be, or my body shuts down. It's going to end in death. It may be fun for that first drink, but like the old saying says, one drink's one too many and one's never enough. That's what I know is going to happen. And so what I do is I pray, I meditate, I really call a sober friend, or someone that knows what I'm going through and can understand. And usually that's someone that's in the same situation, whether they're an alcoholic or an addict. Because a lot of the times I call, a priest or a confidant or another friend who just is like a brother or sister to me, and they really don't understand. And point there is, an addict and an alcoholic know what I'm going through, and so they're the ones that can help me get out of that funk or get out of that situation, get those thoughts out of my head, because they truly understand, because they've been there, they've done that. They know what I'm going through. They know what I'm feeling. And then the other thing that I do is I train. I train for triathlons. My goal is to do the Kerrville Triathlon in 2020. I'm going to take the next 10 to 12 months off of all kinds of training, from triathlon, swim, bike, run. I'm not going to do any of that unless the doctor prescribes it to me. I'm going to pay attention to what he says on physical therapy, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go above and beyond. But while I'm stuck in this back brace, y'all can't see it because it's underneath my sweatshirt, but while I'm stuck in this back brace, the training that I can do is walking down the street. And I'm going to train like I suck. And I've got to remind myself that on my physical side, my mental side, my emotional side, my spiritual side, I got to train like I suck. And I've got to train myself, physically, mentally, spiritually. And the way that I train myself spiritually is by praying and meditating, making sure that I have that connection with my God on a daily basis. And when I do feel like I'm having a rough time, then I train myself by praying and meditating so that I can be spiritually fit. The way that I train myself mentally is by staying busy, crocheting, coloring. I go for, little walks. I read. I talk to people. I have intelligent conversations and debates with my wife and friends so that I can stay mentally fit. And then the way that I train physically is, again, walking down the street. And so right now I train like I suck, and I train like I suck at everything. Okay? And it doesn't have to be physical. It can be emotional and spiritual as well. And that is how I keep myself from having those thoughts, or I get myself out of from having those thoughts of, if I drink, I can have fun like a regular person. But I'm not a regular person. I'm an alcoholic. And I know that if I drink, I may have fun right now and immediately, but it ain't going to last long. And I'm going to be miserable again. I'm going to be suicidal again. I'm going to be just a loner and depressed, and that's going to be the end. So when I have those thoughts, I train like I suck. And that's all I can do. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I will, preach, and they say practice what you preach. So that's what I'm going to preach. And that's about it. So train like you suck, have fun. Don't drink. Don't do drugs. This is Live Bandit, and I'm out.